that BBC employees lied and used fake documents to obtain the interview with my mother, made lurid and false claims about the royal family.
Today, we will look into a surprising secret of the British royal family. This truth has been hidden for 30 years, and Prince William only discovered it at 43. A close source reveals that William stayed calm after learning what King Charles kept secret for decades. This news is not just shocking for him, but it could also change the monarchy's foundation. Why would a son and future king face such a difficult choice? Let's explore this painful secret. Could the British royal family truly keep a secret for 30 years? If you find this revelation as shocking as we do, comment 1. If you think it's impossible, leave 0. Enjoy the video and subscribe to support the channel. I will share more shocking royal secrets. Diana's hidden voice. Prince William found an old letter in the royal archives one quiet afternoon. It was written from Rosalia to King Charles shortly after Princess Diana's death. The letter instructed Charles to keep Diana's last wishes secret. William was shocked to learn about his mother's diaries and tapes, something he hadn't known about for over 30 years. The biggest surprise was that he discovered this truth not from the media or enemies, but from his father. He wondered why Charles hid Diana's last words, and what scared him so much that he needed to cover up the truth. In the final months of her life, Diana recorded her feelings in diaries and cassette tapes, private messages to William and Harry. These recordings revealed her pain, her apologies, and her warnings. Diana's weak but sincere voice came through, shaking William. He had thought he knew everything about his mother's death, but now he realized there was a part of the truth that had been hidden for too long. This moment left him with a tough choice: stay silent to protect the royal family, or bravely speak up to give Diana a final voice. A confrontation with Charles. William met with his father in a private meeting. The atmosphere felt tense. He approached not as the heir, but as a hurt son. "Why didn't you trust me enough to tell me this?" he asked. His voice held no anger, just deep pain. Charles seemed surprised by his son's honesty and fell silent, nearly in tears. His response only hurt William more. "I just wanted to protect you from your mother's pain." What was meant to be comforting felt like control to William, a mistake that robbed him of hearing his mother's final words. The conversation quickly turned into a confrontation. Voices grew loud and emotions spilled over. William pressed, "Who else was involved in that decision? Just you?" Charles responded vaguely, "It's complicated." The room felt heavy, not from the noise, but from all the things left unsaid for years. A royal aide called it a breaking point long overdue. This situation wasn't just about tapes or secret letters, but shared pain that had never been expressed. William left the meeting with red eyes and clenched fists, saying nothing to anyone, not even Kate. That night, he took the diary and the tapes to his private study and stayed there until dawn. The confrontation changed everything, between him and Charles, and within William himself. The prince who had always stood his ground now realized that the institution he had defended had kept him from what he needed most. His mother's voice, his emotional turmoil was palpable, and his struggle was one that many could relate to. The impact was not just emotional, it was life-changing. For years, William thought he had done everything right. He believed he had done his duty, supported the family, and preserved his mother's memory. But when the truth emerged, the tapes, the diaries, the betrayal, something inside him shattered. Close friends say William grew quiet, his smile fading behind palace walls. He became lost in his thoughts, telling Kate, "I feel like I've lost my mother all over again." The pain felt fresh, as if the funeral had just happened, now mixed with anger. The weight of the truth was heavy on William's shoulders, changing him in ways he never expected, uncovering the truth. William wondered, what is Charles hiding, and why is he so afraid of it? Looking closer at the closed files, he began to see a clearer and more painful picture of the past. He discovered not just facts, but the hard truth. Diana spoke openly about her life in the palace, betrayal, loneliness, and her broken marriage to Charles. She shared everything, including when she realized Charles had never truly left Camilla. She worried about her son's emotional future in a system that had never supported her. For Charles, reading those words would have been troubling enough, but hearing them in Diana's voice, recorded forever, would have been even worse. According to insiders, Charles decided not as a grieving ex-husband, but as a future king. He ordered that the tapes, the diary, and the part of Diana's will related to them be kept secret. He claimed their release would further harm the royal family's image. At that time, Charles faced criticism while Diana was seen almost like a saint. Charles sacrificed something valuable to protect the royal family, his son's truth and their chance to hear their mother's final words. Some believe he worried that the tapes would drive a wedge between him, William, and Harry, that Diana's honest words would push them away from everything he represented. Ironically, by keeping those words hidden for 30 years, he may have done just that. Now, William faces a choice: stay silent as tradition suggests, or let the world hear his mother's words. Diana's voice resurfaces. William now faces a new question: what should he do next? When he opened Diana's diary, it felt like more than just paper. It was filled with memories. His mother's handwriting seemed to reach out to him. Diana wrote about her public life and fears of being alone, misunderstood, and rejected. She shared her love for William and Harry, and worried the royal system would take them away. As a child, William comforted Diana by saying, "Don't cry, Mommy. I will be your knight." Reading those words years later was heartbreaking for William. A palace aide said he spent hours alone with the diary and told Kate, "It felt like hearing my mother's voice after all these years." The diary not only brought back memories, but also clarity. Diana wanted her children to know her truth, not those told in history books or press releases. Now that William has her truth, the palace worries, knowing this is no longer a family secret. Panic at the palace. When news broke that William had found the tapes and diaries, Buckingham Palace went quiet, then panicked. They called emergency meetings and alerted the press team. The orders were clear: control the information, call it private, confirm nothing, and deny nothing. Behind the scenes, there was fear. They worried that what Diana said would leak and overshadow years of efforts to improve the royal image. Some suggested moving the entire archive, but William refused. To him, this was not just a relic. It was his mother's last words, and he would not let anyone erase her again. As the palace scrambled to respond, something unexpected emerged. Harry had already suspected it. As William pieced together the truth, he wondered if Harry knew. Harry had hinted at things that had never been shared for years, saying the royal family cared more about control than healing. Now, William started to think maybe his brother had always felt this way. Overwhelmed with emotion, William contacted Harry for the first time in months. The source said the call was brief, ending with, "I have something my mother left me. I need to share it with you." The chance that Diana could bring her two sons back together after years apart is both sad and hopeful. While the royal family fears the truth being revealed, the two brothers may have the very thing that could reunite them: Diana's voice. However, not everyone in the royal family is ready for that truth to come out, especially Camilla. Diana's words on Camilla. Diana's honest thoughts about Camilla are one of the most shocking parts of the tapes. Sources say Diana spoke frankly about how Charles's affair affected her marriage. She felt betrayed, not only as a wife, but also as a mother worried about protecting her children from scandal. If you were Prince William and found out your father had been hiding a secret for 30 years, would you speak up or stay quiet? Comment number 2, if you would speak up, or number 5, if you would remain silent to protect your family. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss the following shocking stories from the British royal family. Diana famously said, "There were 3 of us in the marriage, so it was a bit crowded," during the Panorama interview. This quote captures a lot about her feelings. The tapes reveal more, showing that Diana worried Camilla would change the royal family to be more like her. She feared that people would forget her, and that her legacy would be lost for the woman whom the public had turned against. And it seems Diana may have been right. Since Charles's coronation and Camilla becoming queen, Diana's name has disappeared from speeches, official portraits, and royal events. For William, this situation is very personal. Not only has his mother's last message been kept secret, but the woman who caused her the most pain may have gained from that silence. Camilla's role in the royal family has often been debated. With Diana's words coming to light, things could change forever. Kate's unwavering support. Through all the challenges, Kate stood by William. When he faced overwhelming emotions, Kate Middleton was not just his wife, but also his support. She kept him grounded as royal matters pressured him from all sides. When William dealt with a profound betrayal, he turned to Kate first. Sources say Kate spent hours with him as he read Diana's diaries and listened to tapes. She didn't need to say much. Her presence alone was enough. She held his hand, made him tea, and quietly reminded him he wasn't alone. However, beneath her calm, Kate felt anger. She believed William should have received the tapes years ago. She encouraged him to face the truth, not to shock, but to heal. Yet, this support created tension between Kate and Camilla, which has become quite noticeable. One source remembers a public event where Camilla spoke, and Kate just smiled and looked away. "It was so cold," said the insider. "You could feel the division." With Diana's voice back in the spotlight and family divisions growing, Kate and William must decide what to do. Should they stay quiet to protect tradition, or speak out and risk everything? The palace tried to keep secrets hidden, but rumors about letters and tapes spread. It began with a small leak that revealed William had found undisclosed parts of Diana's will. Then came news of the diaries, recordings, and an emotional talk William had with Charles, leading to the moment. Diana's voice returning. Social media erupted with people saying, "Let Diana speak." Fans of Diana, both young and old, shared photos, quotes, and memories of a woman they felt was wronged. This time, the outrage was directed at the press, past scandals, and the palace itself. Articles questioned whether Charles was trying to protect the royal family or himself, and whether Camilla's rise depended on hiding another woman's truth. The most painful point for William was realizing he had lived in the dark for 30 years while someone knew the truth. Public support for Prince William has increased, with many calling him a mama's boy. Royal experts note that the royal family's silence only raises more suspicion. A crossroads for William. As time passes without a word from the palace, the importance of Princess Diana's legacy seems to grow. The public is increasingly asking for the release of her tapes and diary entries, putting Prince William in a challenging position. He is torn between the royal family's traditions and the desire to honor his mother's memory. He could not hear her final words, making this decision even more significant for him. Inside the palace, there has been a noticeable change. William is no longer quietly grieving. He is actively considering his options. For months now, he has promoted the ideas of openness and accountability, especially when raising his children. This commitment weighs heavily on him as he contemplates what to do next. Some insiders believe William may release parts of the tapes or diary entries, not to embarrass King Charles, but to let Diana share her story in her own words. Others think he might want to share this information with his brother Harry to heal their relationship before going public. As these discussions unfold, it is clear there are tensions within the royal family. Senior members worry that sharing these materials could create a divide between those who stick to tradition and those who seek change. For William, this is more than just a political issue. It touches deeply on his mother's legacy. 30 years after her death, her spirit still influences him. William's decisions are not just about royal duties. They involve personal honor and legacy. Whatever choice he makes will significantly shape the future of the royal family.